country and those who have served. Ian Lawadi will sing the national anthem, followed by Sybil Taylor's invocation.
Join hands and bow your heads with me. At this time in our lives, we would like to give thanks for the many blessings bestowed upon us. These blessings include our parents, teachers, and friends. As we graduate from high school and embark on new and separate journeys, we hope the lessons we've learned in these years will assist us in achieving success in all our future endeavors. We ask for the wisdom to be able to conquer every challenge set before us and to realize we cannot do it alone. But with God and the right help, we can achieve each and every goal. We pray to become the leaders in the revitalization of America and American beliefs and values. Amen.
Please be seated. Good morning, and welcome to the Peters Township High School graduation ceremonies for 1993. It's a wonderful day for graduating seniors, families, friends, significant others. I'd like to again give a very sincere welcome. We have some honored guests with us today. We have both ends of the spectrum represented. We have classroom teachers in the audience, and we have honored board members with us. At this time, I would like to have those honored guests stand. Teachers in the audience and the board members present at the front, please rise. I have just a very simple message for the graduating class of 1993. I'd like you to remember the power of positive thinking. So as you move on through life and there are some ugly or insurmountable turns that are thrown your way, I would like you to focus on positive thinking. I'd like you to remember the last 3 or 4 days that we had together as we all focused on positiveness. And I say thank you because you helped me overcome some ugly turns in the road for myself. So from my heart, I say thank you to the class of 1993. I would like to introduce speakers. We will have several speakers that will come up in order. Brian Kuntz will speak. Lee Nagy will speak. Michael McMurray will speak. Jill McGow will speak and introduce our 50-year grads. At this time, our first speaker.
When I was younger, I thought I had the worst luck in the world. things just didn't seem to go right for me. First of all, I was sandwiched between two talented siblings. What's a boy supposed to think when his sister can beat him in everything? She could kick my butt on a ball field, in a race, or even arm wrestling. She could do 10 chin-ups to my 0. She could sing and play the piano. My brother was even worse. He was 2 years younger than me and outperformed me in every sport. He even used to help me learn to read by figuring out the words when I got stuck. As if that weren't enough, bad luck used to strike at the most inopportune times. Like the day my family went to my dad's company picnic. Tons of prizes were raffled for everyone. There were enough prizes for almost everyone. Guess who went home empty-handed? Or the time a group of us went water skiing. Everybody was to get a chance to ski. When it was my turn, the boat broke down. I still remember the Christmas when my grandmother bought each of her 6 grandchildren a disc camera. All but one worked. These examples may not seem too exceptional now, but they started to add up. This bad luck followed me onto the playing field. I was plagued with one injury after another. Herniated disc, dislocated knee, broken foot, broken ribs, you name it. But somewhere along the line, I decided I would not be deterred. Because I struggled so much at a young age, I learned that nothing was going to come easy to me. But with hard work and lots of desire, many things became possible, which at first seemed hopeless. There are certainly events in our lives that we have no control over that can be considered luck. I could have been born in any country in the world, but I was lucky enough to be born in the United States of America. I had the good fortune to live in this community, where I had the opportunity to pursue a variety of interests. I feel fortunate to have a supportive family who encourage me to do my best and set high standards of achievement. And in spite of the aforementioned injuries, I was blessed with a healthy body. I realize now that I've definitely had some good luck, but I also realize that there are many instances in which you can make your own luck. It wasn't just a coincidence that so many of us have attained successes in various competitions throughout the year, whether it be in the arts, the sciences, or athletics. It wasn't just blind luck that there were 2 WPIAL champs and a state champion from the class of '93. It wasn't chance that members of our class were accepted into the top-ranked colleges in the country. Now that we, the class of '93, have proven we can achieve our personal goals, let's work towards making a difference in the world. It's time to be less self-centered and more altruistic. Time to think of how our actions can affect the lives of others. We must do things that will benefit society as a whole, and ultimately, we must help people that have never had the good fortune, the luck that we've had. Thank you.
"93 years ago, Frank Baum wrote The Wizard of Oz as a satire of American politics. Most of us know it as a great movie starring Judy Garland. However, it is also appropriate as a metaphor for our journey through high school. For example, just as Dorothy was caught up and carried away from Kansas to Oz in the tornado, we too were swept in a whirlwind of emotion into the high school. Since then, we've all followed our own yellow brick roads, each one paved with different activities. Some involve the arts, part-time jobs, athletics, or community service. However, each road had one common bond: academics. We've all had to face obstacles these past 4 years. Just like the Scarecrow had to confront fire and the Tin Man rain, we too have had to overcome difficulties. Some of these experiences might have been having to take a 50-question physics test the day before the physics final, or debating whether to risk parking in the restricted first 4 rows of the school parking lot and getting the dreaded orange sticker on your car window, or parking up by the tennis courts and getting late for the 5th time. Maybe a dilemma for you was having a relationship with a long-time friend turned sour this year. These experiences have resulted in both personal triumphs and personal defeats. But through those setbacks, just like the 4 characters in The Wizard of Oz, we've all had someone to help us. Maybe a friend, parent, or even a teacher, but we haven't traveled alone. Whether we realize it or not, all of our endeavors throughout high school have brought out and shaped our personalities. That is what we've gained from high school, our individuality and our character. Similarly, in The Wizard of Oz, the Lion, Scarecrow, and Tin Man's personality traits that they were so desperately seeking in the Emerald City were actually brought out during their journey. All that the wizard gave them were symbols, such as a medal for bravery to the lion and a clock to represent a beating heart to the Tin Man. These symbols were nothing by themselves, but represent what was gained by them along the yellow brick road. Today, we are receiving symbols very similar to the ones distributed by the wizard in the Emerald City. This piece of paper, our diploma, actually represents the people we have become through all our efforts and tribulations. All of us now face another transition in our lives. Our respective journeys continue in new directions. But hopefully now, we are better equipped with the courage, the heart, and the brains to face the adversity of the future. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the class of 93, their families and friends, members of the class of 43, the Board of School Directors, and the administration. I am especially proud to stand up here today since approximately 75 years ago my great-grandfather graduated, 50 years ago my grandfather graduated, and 25 years ago my father graduated, all of them from Peters Township High School. I would like each of you to think back to a moment in your life when someone took time out to do something special for you. It could have been as big as loaning you money or as small as sending a card to get you through a tough time. An example in my life was when I had surgery on my chest. I was 6, and friends, relatives, and even people I barely knew would come and visit or send me a card. Even though I was young, I remember how special these things were and how they helped me through that tough time. As we sit here, the graduating class of 1993, we should all take time to recall not only those individuals who have touched our lives in a big way, but especially those who have helped us in more subtle ways. These people could be a teacher who gave us that extra push, a friend who took time out just to listen, or even someone who knew what to say or what not to say when we needed it. At the time, we may have taken for granted the impact of what that person had done. Up until now, we have been considered children and have not been expected to give back any more than we have received, if give back anything at all. Now we're entering a time in our lives when we can be the ones doing those little things for other people and not expecting anything in return. Although society sometimes gives us the impression that this is not the accepted thing to do, I believe now more than ever we need to share the many blessings that we so often take for granted. Even though this may not seem like an important thing to us, or we may think this may not do any good, to someone who does not have these blessings, it can be the thing to restore hope for them. For instance, many members of our class have been involved in community service with the elderly, the young, the sick, the disabled, or others with special needs. This is one of many ways that we can give back some of what we have been given. Although it may be a small commitment of time for us, this experience can be very meaningful for everyone involved. As we leave this gymnasium and continue on with our lives, I urge the class of 93 to remember that a little kindness goes a long way. And even though you may not think you can make a difference, you can. And in closing, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from the other. Thank you very much, and good luck to the class of 93.
Good morning. I am proud to have the chance to introduce a group of people that we are privileged to have with us today. These men and women graduated from our high school 50 years ago. Now that is hard for us to comprehend. To actually think it was possible to graduate without the use of computers and to actually complete a math requirement without the use of a TI-81 graphics calculator. Even though you, the class of 1943, may not have driven your Corvettes to school, well, neither did I, or you didn't get the privilege of seeing Mike McMillan's infamous blue Aspen every morning, you did have some advantages. In your high school years, you did not have a McDonald's to hang out at on Friday nights, but you could see an innocent movie like Casablanca for 30 cents versus a not-so-innocent movie like Indecent Proposal for the outrageous price of $6. Even dating was cheaper back then. You could have a romantic dinner for two for about $8 versus $67 today. And also, as far as the prom goes, you didn't have to worry about renting a limousine. Over the years, many things have stayed the same here in Peters Township. The Indian is still the mascot, as we were reminded daily by the bumper sticker in Miss Rozel's English room that reads, "Once an Indian, always an Indian." Something else that has not changed is the use of the official graduation march, Pomp and Circumstance. The traditional caps and gowns are still worn when the tassel on your hat is turned to the right side, you are still considered a high school graduate. But most of all, when the time finally arrives, it is very hard to say goodbye to the friends you have come so close to. Now, today, as we receive our diplomas, let us remember that in 1943, these men and women received their diplomas also. They sit here as parents and grandparents, teachers, and active community members. 50 years ago, these Peters Township graduates sat where all of us are sitting today. They wondered what life would bring them, just as all of us are wondering now. 50 years from now, in 2043, I hope that just as many members of our class have returned as have from your class. We would like to thank you, the class of 1943, for joining us on this special day. But most of all, we would like to honor you for your contribution to the history of Peters Township High School. Now, in recognition of this honor, would you please rise as I call your name and stay standing? Miss James D. Boyce, Miss Ruth Ann Burke, Miss Vera Senich Gary, Mr. Robert Claire Grubbs, Mr. Kenneth Hickson, Mr. Paul Johnson, Mrs. Roberta Renee Lash, Mrs. Olive Wessel Lytle, and I don't think she could be with us today, but her daughter Judy Ringling and her grandson Keith Ringling had her daughter Judy graduated from this high school, and her grandson Keith Ringling is graduating today, and that would be 3 generations that have graduated from Peters Township High School. And Mr. James McLaughlin, Miss Doris Roach, Mrs. Eloise Fitch-Sedora, and Mrs. Betty Phillips Sweetland. Thank you.
At this time, it's my honor to present the graduating class in 1993 to Mr. Gerald Prado. As principal of Peters Township High School, I certify that each graduate of this class has successfully completed and fulfilled the graduation requirements set forth by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the school directors of Peters Township School District. Mr. Prado, I present the class of 1993.
Thank you, Dr. Hages. On behalf of the Board of School Directors, and more importantly on behalf of the community, I would like to congratulate each and every member of the 1993 graduating class of Peters Township High School. Webster's Dictionary defines the word commence as in commencement as the act of beginning or starting. Today is the beginning of a starting point of a new era in your lives. It is the start of a period of great change from what you have become accustomed to during the past several years. If you look back over the past 12 years, for most of you, that same circle of friends has constantly been there. Although your teachers have changed, they've always been a part of Peters Township. The Peters Township community has become comfortable to you, and most importantly, your family has always been there. If you look around you today at the people in this gymnasium, your family, your friends, your teachers, they've been there to support you, to encourage you, and to comfort you both during good times and bad times. However, as mentioned earlier, today represents the beginning of a new era in your lives. As you reflect upon the changes that will occur for many of you over the next 4 to 6 years, you will see that you will probably end up moving several times when you go away to college, when you graduate, when you start your careers. Each of these moves will lead to new friends, the loss of contact with old friends, new experiences, new challenges, and new opportunities. Therefore, the comfort that comes with the continuity and familiarity of your environment over the last 12 years or so will become very unsettling to you over the next 4 to 6 years. However, I would suggest to you that one of the biggest challenges that you will face during these hectic and tumultuous years will be the challenge to maintain the relationship with the people in this room, and most critically, your family. It will not be a matter of not wanting to maintain that closeness or love for one another, but instead you will find that demands on your time, other commitments, and distractions will always arise and provide you with convenient excuses for not calling or writing home or visiting family or attending family functions. I would hope that as you reflect back on what these people have meant to you in your young life, up to this point in your young lives, that you will realize that one of the many worthwhile challenges that you will face is the need to work at maintaining those family relationships. As we read more and more about the breakdown of the family unit in today's society, we begin to realize that successful families, and I'm not talking in a material sense, work at it. Success doesn't just happen. Therefore, I would suggest to you that because of all the distractions that you will have and because of all the different directions in which you will be pulled over the next several years, and as soon as over the next several months, you're all going to have to work a little harder at maintaining that family network, not only for your own sake, but for the sake of other members of your family. And I would sincerely hope that you would find it worth the effort. Good luck to all of you, and again, congratulations.
Anthony Michael Alo. James G. Baker. Randall Kirk Barton. Frank Jeffrey Bieber. Justin Conrad Beinhauer. Stephen Michael Bell. Gregor Frederick Bender. Colby Allen Berg. Alex C. Borowski. Brian M. Brandstatter. Scott T. W. Bruce.
Joan Marie Adams. Susanna Lane Elchiri. Kara Kathleen Baldoff. Stephanie Rebecca Bergenstein. Kathleen Lynn Bowman. Amy Louise Carilla. Carla Ann Carenza. Jennifer Ann Cordes. April Catherine Craig. Christy Lynn Cummings.
Sean Matthews Byrne. Christopher Brian Campbell. John Joseph Cristoforetti II. Ryan Matthew Church. Philip Jason Cox. David Richard Krim. David Ray Cross. Jeffrey Allen Crossan. Derek Jason Cuff. Dan Todd Davidovich. Jason D. Deere.
Megan Angela Daly. Kelly Eileen Dick. Cheryl Lynn Dixon. Danielle Elizabeth Evans. Sarah Kathleen Fagan. Melissa Lynn Federline. Valerie J. Ferraro. Danielle Friday. Jennifer Claire Gallagher. Hillary Brooke Gardner.
Timothy Patrick Doran. Brian K. Dorlane. William Powers Driver. David George Dvorak. Michael John Dyer. Mark John Edwards. Jeffrey John Charles Fevashevsky. John Albert Fix. Christopher Paul Frioli. Albert E. France III. William P. Gates.
Suzanne Bernadette Gardner. Andrea Joy George. Christine Marie Halberstadt. Lori A. Heath. Heather Christian Heiser. Elena Sarah Higginbotham. Melissa Suzanne Hoffbauer. Lynn Marie Horvath. Teresa Marie Hozdovich. Nicole Christine Jewert.
David Albert Jermeyer. Brian C. Gira. Thomas W. Glass. Anthony Lawrence Gorney. John Stephen Guna. Aaron William Hartman. Jeffrey James Herb. Randolph Robinson Hess. Ian Lawati. Benjamin Todd Holcomb. Jack Ashley Holt.
Kelly Renee Kidwell. Amy Lynn Komorowski. Kelly June Kopshever. Amy Marie Lacey. Brandy Lee Lewis. Nicole Conrad Logan. Renee Jeanette Longo. Allison Marie Luckhart. Stephanie Mayasho. Marie Teresa Mamula.
Eric Stephen Horwitz. Scott John Harbor. Michael Anthony Kale. Christopher Lewis Kirschner. David Gerard Nell. Keith David Kolarski. Kevin John Kolarski. Toby G. Karak. Sharad Kumar. Brian W. Kuntz. William Pace Lash.
Jennifer Jane Mandelson. Kelly Ann McCloskey. Jill Linda McGow. Melissa Christine Molinero. Amy Michelle Moyer. Rebecca Lynn Myers. N. Lee Nagy. Brandy J. Newmaster. Dana Sue Offerman. Shannon Emily Peterson.
Curtis Allen Leach. Bradley Barrett Leonard. Douglas Edward Luffy. Roger Wayne Liebarger. Frank James Malerbo. Michael John McMillan. Michael Wallace McMurray. Richard Scott Myers. David Paul Mitchell. Keo Ruiz Alves Montiel. Andrew Richard Mosier.
Rebecca Lynn Pietrocatello. Kara Lee Podrasky. Vanessa L. Pollock. Susan Elizabeth Robb. Jessica Riebel. Catherine Jane Riley. Beth Ann Rollage. Shari Evelyn Rosen. Melissa Marie Schaefer. Megan Beth Shantz.
Darren Lawrence Mole. James William Norrow. Sean O'Connor. Jason T. Parry. Mark P. Pollock. Jonathan Stewart Peck. Christopher D. Parada. David Michael Podolinsky. Christopher R. Pollard. Daniel A. Powell. And David A. Powell.
Wendy Lynn Scharf. Janine Ann Schultz. Megan Schwartzbach. Gina Simeone, Catherine Ann Stock, Caroline Teresa Strubing, Kimberly Deanna Seiling, Sybil Denise Taylor, Lauren Marie Taylor, Jill Shannon Thompson, Beth Lynn Valentine, Laurie Marie Wilcox, Joy Christina Williams, Marla Marie Yonick,
James Eric Raxa, Jason Michael Ramey, Sean David Reese, J. Jordan Rhodes, Keith Allen Ringling, Neil E. Roth, Jr., Jeffrey W. Rudy, Joseph R. Sadowski, Jr., Paul R. Sanders, Gary Stephen Santoro, Christopher John Shirer,
Brian Gregory Schreiner, Clayton David Schwartz, Michael Samuel C. Miller, Eric D. Sigelstrom, Jeffrey Dwayne Schaefer, Jason William Shanafelt, Jason Corey Schlegel. Michael Maxwell Smith. Jeremy Reed Speece. Drew Allen Spencer. David Stephen Stutzman.
Dean Michael Tamuti. Jason Thomas Tapleside. Nicholas A. Theodori. John Walter Thwaite. David Nathan Vaughn. Bradford Edward Wade. Daniel Charles Walker. Robert Eugene Worst II. Michael Joseph Zawacki.
At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Dennis Urso, Superintendent of Schools, the leader of our school district.
As we culminate this important event here today, all of us, parents, students, faculty, administrators, members of the Board of School Directors, we should all be proud. We have individually and collectively contributed to the success of 13 years of education. This indeed has been an arduous and pleasurable task, particularly as we've often been faced with many countervailing forces that these trying times have placed before us. Thursday evening, prior to attending an excellent baccalaureate program, I was at my computer placing the finishing touches on a brief commencement address that will be given here today. After hearing the inspirational messages by the students and keynote speaker, I returned to a blank screen to start over, moved by the words provided by one of your classmates, Catherine Riley. After the program, I approached Kate and asked her for a copy of her speech, informing her that I had intended to borrow a passage from her script. Falling far short of the eloquence of Kate, I would like to cite the phrase, "In the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul." The noisy confusion reminded me of the events over the past several weeks surrounding this very type of ceremony, relating to the conflicting values that often send mixed messages to young people and not so young people. Approximately 1 week ago, one of the primetime television news magazines aired a feature on Michael Milliken, the individual responsible for promoting the junk bond industry. The show nearly glorified the man who was responsible for developing a system that caused millions of people to lose vast sums of money. Among its victims were many older citizens whose meager personal savings that were intended to see them through their retirement years were lost. With this, I wondered if, for some, there might not be a bit of noisy confusion, that people preying on people is valued, while people praying with people is illegal, at least at this type of ceremony. I further wondered if there is some noisy confusion might not also be the fact that it is taboo to recognize some form of deity at this ceremony, while at the same time I am sure that each of you has a piece of government currency of various values. I would have used the term denomination, but I'm not sure I can use that in this setting. That on each piece of government currency, one is being told in whom to place one's trust. The noisy confusion continues to be about us, as in the instance where the discovery of an illness in a leading sports figure gives cause for a news bulletin during the middle of a television program, while the hospitalization of the great humanitarian, Mother Teresa, barely goes unnoticed, except for a couple of lines somewhere on page 3 of the daily newspaper. Throughout your life, you will be faced with many examples of noisy confusion that will test your character as you chart the course of your destiny. You may find the roadway leading to many of the personal and professional mountains that you will climb will be convoluted with noisy confusion. May you take with you not only the mind and the body to climb the mountain, but the heart and the spirit to straighten the roadway. So, class of '93, let us go forth as mountain climbers and road straighteners, as I grant unto you, with the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Peters Township Board of School Directors, all the rights, privileges, and immunities hereunto set forth. Congratulations, graduates.
Congratulations. At this time, I would like to make one announcement, and that is there will be a reception for our honored guests, the 50-year grads, in the cafeteria. Teachers and administrators are welcome to attend. And Chris Parada will give us our benediction. Please rise.
Yes. As sad as it may seem, this is most likely the last time the class of 1993 will be congregated for such a happy celebration. With this thought in mind, let us bow our heads, hold hands, and give thanks to God. Thank you, God, for the strength and courage achieved from the guidance of our parents, friends, and family. Thank you for the exceptional teachers and administrators that have provided leadership and direction. Thank you for this wonderfully unique country that maintains a rich heritage of freedom and equality. Thank you for our good health and the knowledge that we take with us. May we be blessed as we leave this gymnasium and enter into the real world. May we move forward in faith and love to fulfill our potentials and make us worthy of the blessings we have received. Peace be with you. Pax Nobiscum. Amen.